If someone was to ask me today, why do you love reading? My answer would be simple. I would tell them a story about what happened yesterday. So, I'm in the middle of reading Brandon Sanderson's Words of Radiance, book number 2 in the Starlight Archive. A thick, I think it's like 1100 page book, right? And I'm enjoying this, I'm having fun with it, but I need a break. I need a break from it. I've been reading it for like a week. I needed a palate cleanser, let's call it, right? And I have this thing sitting on my shelf, Psalm for the Wild Build. Interesting title by Becky Chambers. I've never read anything by Becky before. I was curious. I've heard good things about it. That's why I bought it. And I figured this, good or bad, it's going to be different than the fantasy. This is sci-fi, solar punk, right? So I'm thinking this is going to be perfect. So I pick it up, I open, I start reading, and I am not disappointed. I do not put the book down until it's finished. It's not a huge accomplishment. It's like maybe 100 pages. So it's a quick read. But now I'm a fan of Becky's. I'm gonna read other books of hers. The Wayfarer collection. I'm going to read book number 2 in the Monk and Robot series because I'm excited that this isn't the only one, that this isn't a standalone, even though it's an amazing book on its own. And in a universe filled with nature's indifference, with all the negativity going on right now in the world, this book has filled me with hope for the future. The action of the book takes place on Panga. It's a moon orbiting a planet somewhere out there, but it is a stand-in for Earth for sure. It feels very familiar. It's supposed to be Earth of the future, a hopeful vision of our planet, I think. Now, on this planet, robots at some point have achieved self-awareness, right? They're sentient. And they've decided they no longer want to be slaves to human corporate greed. Humans have agreed to that. They're ready to make Panga a better place for everyone. With that in mind, humans have set aside half of the planet for themselves and the other half belongs to nature alone. And as in reference to the robots, they've agreed that robots will be left alone. So robots go into the wild and are no longer seen. It's called the parting promise that humans will not seek robots anymore. Quick interruption. If you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to like it. It really helps a lot. Consider subscribing. And now, let's get back to the video. And here we're quickly introduced to our main character, Dex. Dex goes by pronouns they, their. So Dex is a tea monk, a disciple of the god of small comforts. I believe there are 6 gods in this world. And Dex is calling. Their job is to ride around in a self-propelled wagon from town to town, visiting with folks and offering them the small comfort of a cup of tea. Quickly, however, we realize that Dex themselves is not happy, questioning their existence, the meaning of it all, whether they're making a difference in the world. Dex is struggling internally. And one day, Dex can take it no longer and decides to call the town ahead and let him know he's not gonna visit today. And Dex goes off into the wild, seeking, goes into the mountains, seeking answers. And what they find there is a robot. And this is where the story starts. So far, really no spoilers, but I cannot go any further because this is really where the story starts. The robot is asking questions and they're both getting answers. There's lots to love about this book. It's beautifully written, simple prose, but really evocative. Evocative descriptions of the countryside. Here I quote, trees shyly locking toes with one another. It's really a pleasure to read. You're smiling as you're reading the book. Becky Chambers says philosophy is a breath of fresh air. The relationship between Dex and the robot, whose name is Moskap, is really sweet. They're learning from one another. It's funny at times, heartbreaking perhaps in other instances. So I've been reading a lot of sci-fi lately, a lot of grim stuff, a lot of cyberpunk, which has a very negative view of the humanity, things falling apart, dystopian future for Earth. But Psalm for the Wild Build is solar punk. It offers a much more hopeful, optimistic outlook for humanity. So to sum it up, this book is really an experience. It's beautiful, it's poignant, it's important. In my opinion, it's a 10 out of 10 read. I really love it. I recommend it. It's going on my top shelf.